yourself to settle into a position that feels completely supportive. Let your body know that this is a moment apart from striving, apart from correcting, apart from doing. You are here simply to notice, to observe, and to allow a deeper process to unfold. Today, we focus on identity. Compulsive behaviors are powerful not only because of urges, but because over time, they become part of how you see yourself. When the mind identifies as someone who must act, the body and nervous system respond in alignment with that identity. Today, you are beginning to shift that identity, not through force, but through gentle recognition and rehearsal of a new self-concept. Someone who responds with calm, deliberate choice rather than reacting automatically. Allow your attention to settle inside the body, noticing points of contact, sensations of support, the subtle rhythm of breath moving in and out. Each inhalation draws awareness inward. Each exhalation releases tension and old expectations. With each breath, the body learns that this is a safe space to explore identity without judgment. As you breathe, imagine the self you have been identifying with the part that responds through compulsion, urgency, or ritual. See it clearly, not to criticize, not to blame, but to acknowledge its existence. That self was formed with intention at some point, seeking safety, predictability, and relief. Recognize that it served a purpose, even if it no longer does. Understanding the past self allows space for change. Now, gently shift your attention to a new vision of yourself. Imagine yourself as someone capable of observing urges, tolerating uncertainty, and responding intentionally rather than automatically. Notice how this self feels in the body. Perhaps there is a sense of openness in the chest, steadiness in the spine, softness in the jaw, or spaciousness in the abdomen. These physical sensations are evidence that identity is not merely conceptual, it is embodied. The nervous system responds directly to how you perceive yourself. As you visualize and feel this new self, notice subtle signals of alignment, a deepening of breath, a release of tension, a quiet confidence. This is the system learning that calm, intentional responses are possible and natural. Identity is not formed overnight, but it can be reshaped through repeated experience. By imagining yourself acting as this capable, regulated person, your nervous system begins to rehearse these patterns automatically. Actions, thoughts, and sensations gradually align with the emerging identity. As you continue to breathe, imagine typical triggers or situations that might have elicited compulsive responses in the past. See them clearly, but now imagine responding differently, observing, pausing, allowing sensations, and choosing action intentionally rather than reflexively. Notice how the body feels in this scenario. Perhaps tension remains, but is manageable. Perhaps urges arise, but do not dominate. Each response reinforces the new self. The subconscious begins recording. This is who you are. The part of you that once believed you must act compulsively begins to recognize that a different, safer, more confident pattern is possible. Over time, repetition of this experience changes the underlying identity. Notice how identity is felt as much as thought. Physical posture, breath, attention, and emotional tone all communicate to the nervous system This is the person you are now. Even subtle sensations, steady breathing, soft muscles, calm heart rate reinforce the new identity. Imagine now interacting with multiple triggers or urge sensations. Each time, respond in the new way. Pause, observe, allow, choose. Each successful rehearsal strengthens neural pathways, supporting the identity of someone who responds rather than reacts. Confidence grows organically as the nervous system absorbs repeated patterns of calm, deliberate choice. You may notice thoughts or old self-concepts attempting to intrude. I am compulsive. I cannot resist. I must act. Observe these thoughts as passing clouds, not truths. You are practicing the ability to witness them without fusion, returning attention to the emerging identity of calm agency. With each repetition, the nervous system learns that this new identity is reliable, safe, and more effective than old compulsive patterns. Imagine now the full integration of this self into everyday life. See yourself waking, interacting, and responding to challenges with this calm, intentional presence. Notice how natural it feels. Calm is not forced. It flows naturally from your identity. Actions no longer require constant self-monitoring or effortful inhibition. Urges may still arise, but they are met with confidence rather than panic, with awareness rather than compulsion. The nervous system recognizes safety in presence. You are training the body as well as the mind. Embodied identity is reinforced by posture, breath, muscle tone, and subtle attention. Even imagining acting as this self strengthens pathways for automatic regulation. Over time, these patterns become default. Compulsive behaviors lose authority because they no longer align with the person you are becoming. As you breathe, notice the subtle sense of continuity between thoughts, sensations, and identity. When impulses appear, you respond with presence. When discomfort arises, you tolerate it. When uncertainty exists, you trust your capacity to navigate it. Each moment of alignment reinforces the sense of self that acts deliberately rather than reacts. You may now bring attention to any part of the body where old compulsive tension tends to accumulate. Imagine that area softening, releasing old signals of urgency, aligning with the new identity. The nervous system learns that safety and agency coexist naturally. This process does not require force. It occurs through repeated experience, embodied rehearsal, and gentle attention. Notice how this new identity feels not just in thought, but in sensation, in posture, in breath. That feeling communicates directly to the subconscious, encoding a model for automatic response. As you continue to imagine daily life from this perspective, see yourself encountering triggers or urges with the same calm, intentional presence. Observe how the nervous system begins to anticipate appropriate, regulated responses rather than reflexive, compulsive ones. Confidence grows subtly, anchored in embodiment. The more this identity is rehearsed, the more it becomes self-evident, natural, and effortless. You are not pretending, you are integrating. You are building a nervous system that supports the behaviors aligned with the new self. Even if old patterns arise, they are met with the knowledge that they are have a new template for response.